Look at the sky for a moment. Really look at it. It does not fight the clouds. It does not argue with the storm. It does not cling to the sun or push away the rain. The sky simply allows everything to pass through it. The thunder, the lightning, the darkness, the light, while remaining vast, unchanged, and infinite. Your mind is meant to be the same, but if you are honest with yourself, you know that most days you don't live like the sky. You live like the weather. You become the anger when it arises. You become the anxiety when it grips you. You become the self-doubt when it whispers. You get swept away by every thought that enters your head, and then you wonder why you feel so fragile. We spend our lives trying to control the external world. We arrange and rearrange our circumstances, hoping that if we just get the right job, the right relationship, the right body, the right amount of money, we will finally feel at peace. But the external world is a storm. It is chaos by design, and you cannot control the storm. The only thing you can control is the anchor inside you. To be mentally unstoppable is not to be hard like a rock that the waves crash against. Rocks erode, they crack, they crumble. To be mentally unstoppable is to be like water, fluid, adaptive, and impossible to hold on to. It is to be like the sky, vast, aware, and untouched by the weather passing through. It all starts with one fundamental realization, a realization that changes everything. You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. Inside every human being, there is a constant narrator, a voice that comments, judges, worries, plans, and dreams. Listen to it right now. I wonder where this video is going. I'm tired. I'm not good enough. Why did I say that yesterday? What if I fail tomorrow? For your entire life, you have believed that this voice is you. You have identified with it completely. When the voice says, I am anxious, you become anxiety. When it says, I am angry, you become rage. When it says, I am a failure, you live as one. But here is the ancient truth that the Zen masters taught, that the Stoics understood, and that modern psychology is finally catching up to. If you can hear the voice, you are not the voice. You are the one listening. Imagine sitting on the bank of a river. Thoughts are leaves floating on the surface of the water. For years, you have been jumping into the river, grabbing onto every leaf, letting each one pull you downstream. You have been tossed and turned by currents of fear, regret, and desire. The practice of the right mindset is simply to sit on the bank and watch the leaves go by. You don't jump in, you don't grab, you don't fight the river. You just watch. This is what psychologists call the observer self. This is what the Stoics called the inner citadel. It is the part of you that remains untouched by the chaos. When you cultivate this observer, something miraculous happens. The thoughts lose their power. The anxiety becomes just a sensation in the body. The fear becomes just a whisper in the distance. You realize that you are the screen, and the thoughts are just movies playing across it. The screen is never damaged by the movie. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, born a slave, beaten and chained, taught this. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Between the stimulus and your response, there is a gap. In that gap is your freedom. Most people have no gap. Someone insults them and they react instantly. A negative thought appears and they are consumed. They are puppets pulled by strings of circumstance. To be mentally unstoppable is to widen that gap. It is to see the thought appear, I'm a failure, and instead of grabbing it, you simply say, there is the I'm a failure thought again. Interesting. I wonder what's next. When you stop identifying with the noise, you find the stillness, and in that stillness, you are untouchable. Now, let us talk about the world. The world will throw things at you. It will throw loss, rejection, failure, betrayal, and pain. These things are neutral. They are events. They have no power except the power you give them through your interpretation. A rock is just a rock, but if you interpret it as a mountain, you will never climb over it. If you interpret it as a stepping stone, you will. This is the discipline of perception. When something bad happens, the untrained mind immediately labels it as a disaster. The untrained mind says, this is terrible. Why me? This shouldn't be happening. The trained mind pauses. It creates that gap. And in that gap, it asks a different set of questions. Is this truly bad, or is it just uncomfortable? What if this is exactly what I needed to grow? What is this situation trying to teach me? The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that. Whatever is blocking you right now, that thing is your path. You don't get to choose your obstacles. You only get to choose how you engage with them. We live in a culture that tells us comfort is the goal. A life without stress, without pain, without struggle. But that is a lie. A life without struggle is a life without growth. A muscle only grows when it is torn. A sword is only forged in fire. A diamond is only created under pressure. The mentally unstoppable person does not ask for an easier life. They ask for stronger shoulders to bear the weight. They look at the mountain and say, "This mountain is here to teach me how to climb." There is a Japanese concept called kintsugi. It is the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. The cracks are not hidden, they are illuminated. The object becomes more beautiful, more valuable, more unique because it was broken. Your mind is the same. The cracks, the struggles, the failures, they are not scars to hide. They are gold. They are proof that you survived. They are proof that you grew. They make you who you are. This leads us to a powerful concept. A concept that, if internalized, will make you truly unstoppable. The Stoics called it amor fati, a love of fate. Not just accepting what happens, but loving it, embracing it, believing that everything that happens, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, is necessary for your evolution. That there is no such thing as a wasted experience. When you love your fate, you stop wishing for a different past. You stop wishing for a different present. You stop wasting energy on resentment and regret. You take everything that life gives you and you say, "Thank you, I will use this." The Zen masters have a saying, "Fall down 7 times, get up 8. It is not about never falling. It is about what you do after the fall. It is about the getting up. Every time you get up, you are stronger than you were before. Every time you survive the storm, you trust yourself more. When you stop seeing obstacles as enemies and start seeing them as teachers, you become invincible, because nothing can happen to you that you cannot use. Nothing can be thrown at you that you cannot transform into fuel. But there is a trap here, a trap that catches many people on the path to strength. They try to control the uncontrollable. You cannot control the stock market. You cannot control whether someone loves you. You cannot control the past. You cannot control what people say about you behind your back. You cannot control death. You cannot control the weather. And if you spend your energy trying to control these things, you will break, you will burn out, you will become bitter, anxious, and exhausted. The Stoics had a simple tool, a mental filter. They called it the dichotomy of control. There are 2 categories in life, and only 2. Category 1, things within your control. Your thoughts, your actions, your values, your character, how you respond to events. Category 2, things outside your control. The actions of others, the opinions of others, your reputation, your past, your health, to a large extent, the outcome of your efforts, death. The wise person puts 100% of their energy into category 1. They do not waste a single breath, a single ounce of anxiety on category 2. This is freedom. This is what it means to be mentally unstoppable. When you stop trying to control the ocean and learn to sail, the waves no longer terrify you. They are just part of the journey. When someone insults you, it is outside your control. Your reaction, inside your control. When you fail, the failure is in the past, outside your control. What you learn from it and how you try again, inside your control. When the world is chaotic, the chaos is outside your control. Your inner peace, inside your control. The mentally unstoppable person has a very small circle of concern. They focus on what they can touch, what they can do, what they can be right now in this moment. And because they focus on the small, they master the large. But we must go deeper, because knowing these things intellectually is not enough. You must live them, you must embody them. This requires brutal honesty. What David Goggins calls taking the soul pill, what the Zen master calls looking into your true nature. The world loves to blame. Blame feels good for about 5 seconds. It is warm and comfortable to be the victim. It's their fault, it's the system's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's the economy's fault. But blame leaves you powerless, because if it's their fault, they have to fix it, and they won't. You are stuck, waiting for a savior who is never coming. The right mindset requires a shift in language, a linguistic shift that changes your brain chemistry. Stop saying, "He made me angry." Start saying, "I chose to respond with anger." Stop saying, "I can't do this because of them." Start saying, "How can I do this despite them?" Stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" Start saying, "What is this trying to teach me?" When you take ownership of your emotions and your circumstances, even the ones you didn't cause, you take back the steering wheel. You become the author of your own life. And if you wrote a bad chapter, you have the pen to write the next one. This is the accountability loop. It is the bridge between knowing and doing. It is the daily practice of looking in the mirror and saying, "I am responsible, not guilty, not to blame, responsible, able to respond." And when you are able to respond, you are never a victim. We have traveled through the observer, the perception, the obstacle, the control, and the accountability. But now, we arrive at the deepest part of the journey, the part that the ancient philosophers and Zen masters pointed to. The part that no external teacher can give you. You must find it yourself. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to sit with this question. Don't answer it with words, answer it with your silence, answer it with your life. Who are you when no one is watching? Not who you are at work, performing for your boss. Not who you are on social media, performing for strangers. Not who you are with your friends, performing for acceptance and belonging. Not who you are when you are trying to impress someone. Who are you at 3 a.m., when the room is dark, when the phone is off, when the lights are out, when there is no one to impress and no one to blame? That version of you, the one in the silence, the one in the dark, that is the only version that matters. That is the version that must be mentally unstoppable, because the applause will fade, the likes will stop, the promotions will end, the validation will vanish, the relationships may change, and you will be left with yourself. Can you live with that person? Can you respect that person? Can you look in the mirror and see someone who stood for something, someone who tried, someone who failed and got back up? Someone who was kind when it was hard, someone who was brave when they were terrified, someone who was real. The ancient philosophers had a practice called memento mori, remember you will die. It sounds morbid, it sounds dark, but it is actually the most liberating thought in the world. When you remember that you will die, the opinions of others become dust. The small worries disappear, the grudges you hold seem ridiculous. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start living in the only moment you have, this one. Death is not the enemy, death is the teacher. It reminds you that time is the only currency that cannot be earned back, and it asks you, what are you spending it on? So, let us bring this all together. Let us build the unstoppable mind. First, remember that you are the sky, not the weather. Watch your thoughts like clouds passing through a vast empty sky. Do not cling to them, do not fight them, just watch. In the watching, you are free. Second, remember that the obstacle is the way. When life puts a wall in front of you, do not waste energy cursing the wall. Ask yourself, how do I climb it? How do I go around it? How does this wall make me stronger? The impediment to action advances action. Third, remember the circle of control. Focus only on what is yours to control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses. Let everything else fall away like water off a leaf. Do not carry the weight of the world. Carry only what is yours. Fourth, take radical accountability. Stop blaming, start owning. You are the author of your life. Write it with intention. Fifth, remember who you are in the dark. Cultivate that self, nurture that self, because that self is the only one that goes with you everywhere. The right mindset is not about never feeling pain. It is about not being destroyed by it. It is not about never feeling fear. It is about acting despite it. It is not about controlling the world. It is about mastering yourself. You are not your thoughts, you are the thinker. You are not your pain, you are the witness. You are not your past, you are the architect of your future. The mind is a garden. For years you have let weeds grow wild. Fear, doubt, resentment, blame. But you are the gardener, and today you have the seeds, you have the tools, you have the knowledge. The question is not if you can do it, the question is will you? Will you sit on the bank and watch the river? Will you love your fate? Will you focus on what you can control? Will you take ownership? Will you meet yourself in the dark and decide that you are enough? The world does not need another person who is hard on the outside and brittle on the inside. The world needs people who are soft enough to feel, but strong enough to stand. People who are fluid like water, vast
like the sky and steady like the mountain. Be that person. Get out of your own way. Own your choices. Sail the waves. This is your journey. Make it legendary.